Hello, everyone. Welcome to ELI, the place where you get your daily dose of inspiration for entrepreneurship. And today we have with us Sheetal Jain, who is the co-founder of LeRemitt, which is a cross-border trade and payments platform. Hi, Sheetal. Welcome to ELI.
Hi, thank you so much for having me here, Priyaranjan. Pleasure to be here.
To start with, Sheetal, I would request you to introduce yourself to our audience and tell us a bit about how has been your journey in the space of BFSI. I think you have spent decades of time in the BFSI domain. So, which all companies did you work for, and how did you arrive at the current venture? I think all your past engagements were as a employee of other companies, and then you started your own venture. So tell us a bit about your whole journey.
Sure. So, yeah, it's been, as you rightly said, decades in the Indian financial system. The initial 10 years were in corporate lending and financial research. And post that, I was in the so-called celebrated fintech world. Last 13 years have been in fintech itself. Primarily two fintechs, which was Probe Information, which is company which has built the platform Probe 42, and I was one of their founding employees. So I've gone through that process of the startup itself, right, through with them. So where the product got built, where we set up the processes, where we hired the teams, where we actually thought about the GTM, where we actually looked at the first GTM and then figured out, okay, what is the right you find your product market fit, and then you expand the business. You reach that growth stage, went through the fundraise of seed stage, then the series A through them as well. So that was the that was my, I call that as my first what do you say experiment with the entrepreneurship, where I said, wow, I really like this. I like that. I like when you have to figure out things for yourself. Okay, what's
Mm.
coming next? So that's what I enjoyed in that. And then I joined another company called Science Technologies, where I was heading their India and Southeast Asia business. And I missed that building phase once again, because when I joined, Science was already a Series A company.
Okay.
So I missed that, okay, I need to build out once again. And because MSME data was very, very close to me, I was very close to looking at the data in Probe days, because that was data as a service through a platform and APIs. So I
Mm-hmm.
had seen how the data looks like, and how India has been able to produce very few companies which have gone beyond 1,000 crores. There are barely 6,000 companies who have turnover more than 1,000 crores, and not many companies. And we say that we are 6.3 crore entities. And by the way, that's where the legal name of our company comes from. We are
Mm-hmm.
6.3 Technologies Private Limited, and LeRemitt is our brand name. So,
Wow.
so we wanted to serve for MSMEs, and I had looked that data very, very closely and worked with banking sector very closely. So that's when I said that I wanted to build systems for MSMEs, work for them, so that their processes get eased out. So that with that thought process and my and I wanted to start a company in MSME sector. And that's when I was discussing who's my co-founder today, but he was my client in
Mm-hmm.
IndusInd Bank. He was and who was in my Probe days, he was my customer. And so we discussed that, okay, cross border is the space for us to go, and we will focus on the MSME segment and look at the export market there. So that's where we are, and we started last year in this space. And so
Got it.
the whole idea is out the international trade for exporter segment in India.
Got it. I was wondering how did you arrive at the name of the company 6.3, and what does it mean? Now it all makes sense.
Yeah.
And like you rightly mentioned, of all the 6.3 crore financial entities, legal entities, I think a bulk 99% of them would be MSMEs, and that is the segment you are tapping. But tell us from the very beginning, when you jumped out of Science and started working on your own venture, what was the thought process? What was the hypothesis? I understand that you had a understanding of the MSME space and you had some data points around it, but uh, you'd have shortlisted a bunch of problem statement, like these are all the things we want to solve, and these are, each of them are big enough markets. But how did you arrive at the thing that you are doing currently, the cross border payments?
Yeah. So when you look at international trade, challenges are multiple. When you look at, the challenges start from identifying who's your buyer going to be, from buyer seller discovery to payments to financing to logistics to to RBI documentation itself. There are multiple challenges in this space when you talk of international trade. So
Mhm.
then you come down to, okay, what do you understand, what is strength to you, and what are the bigger challenges that you can solve for them today, what you are aware of. So that's where the payments and the financing, something that would be our core, is came up. And the idea was that, others, there are certain segments that have come up, like digital logistics is something that has already come up.
Hmm.
Buyer seller discovery platforms have already come up.
Right.
So how do we work along with them to make it now the payments and the financing options easier for MSMEs? That's how we identified our segment, and we said this is what we will take it to and digitize this segment for them, so that it becomes easier.
How big is this problem? Like, can you quantify what is the size of this market, and what kind of margin are we, expecting as a startup, or maybe as a player in the whole chain?
Oh yeah, I mean, this is something, the trade, if we talk about international payments itself, this is a 32 trillion dollar segment, but out of that, just the small invoices itself globally is $12 trillion. When I say small, because we operate the license we operate under, we can work only on the smaller segment and small MSMEs, and that's where the problem also lies. That
Mhm.
itself is $12 trillion. That itself is $12 trillion, where the and when you talk about, that's a large global segment, global issue itself. And the challenges are very similar when you look at across MSMEs across the globe. It's not just India problem. We may have started from India,
Mhm.
but the MSME issues are across. The high cost of remittances, the no visibility on the processes, no visibility on the rates. These are common problems across MSMEs itself. And that's what we are targeting from the payment side itself. If you look at trade finance, supply chain finances, these are all, given that there is a supply chain financing gap of almost $3 to $4 billion itself. So
Mhm.
these are large gaps in the industry today. If we can have digitalization, more digitalization, more and more transparency on the processes, which can be fixed.
Hmm.
Cannot be done on day one, but yeah, we have started the journey. We started the journey from India, and as we move across, we will be crossing the borders, and we will be addressing the challenges there as well.
uh, Assume that I'm a layman and I do not understand the financial concepts. So, in layman terms, how would you explain the whole problem statement that you are solving, and what is exactly that you do as a venture?
Yeah. So, see, understand the way it works. We are used to every MSME. It's not that you have not been getting payments. You have been getting payments before as well. Uh, but how does the payments work? As soon as your payment hits, you go and speak to your banking relationship manager and try to get the best rate possible for yourself. So first of all, you go and you have to negotiate your rate every time you speak to a relationship manager. Your payment comes in. That's a first stress factor comes in your life, that you have to negotiate.
Hmm.
Then the entire process becomes that you have to monitor that process yourself, and you don't know what is the rate that you are being charged today.
Hmm.
While you negotiate, you don't know what you are negotiating on,
Hmm.
because you don't know what is the interbank rate being charged to you. So what we do is we bring in complete transparency on your process, and also on your rates itself. We convert your funds when they come in through us. We convert your funds at zero forex margin. We show you what is the interbank rate. We
Mm-hmm.
convert at that rate for you, and then we also give you that this is the fee that you are going to pay us. We give you a very clean visibility on the cost. We give you a clean visibility on what is the timeline. We give you a clean visibility on the process. Beyond that, actually, ideally, you really don't need to talk to my customer success if you really don't want to. I have customers who just come in, register themselves on their own, onboard themselves on their own, and start to upload their invoices on their own. So
Wow.
in this process, what we yeah, so they're kind of it's, if you want to talk, MSME segment at times want to be very comfortable with, with a person. Okay, I want to understand this. That's when you and we are available across all the communication mediums of whether it's WhatsApp, call, email. You can call us and reach out to us. But I have seen customers coming and logging in on their own. And the good
Mm.
thing is that, not just we have been able to ease out these high cost of remittances itself. And the way we have done this is we have combined the global payment system and Indian payment system through the technology itself. We give you a virtual account in the geographies
Okay.
from where your remitter is. So what happens is that it becomes a local transfer for your remitter,
Hmm.
which makes it much more cost effective for the customer here, which does not happen, which otherwise you can have a bank account only if you have a physical presence there. So it
Mm-hmm.
helps you in two ways. One is it makes your transaction faster, it makes your transaction cost effective, and also it gives you much more credibility. Now
Mm.
you can go to a new customer and say, oh, I have a local bank account. So you can just transfer the funds there. You're not talking international, you are talking, yeah, I have a bank account, just transfer the funds here. So it
Got
helps you in multiple ways. And yeah, that's the way you can make use of the technology today, even for an MSME. You don't have to be a large corporate to get a bank account.
Got it. You mentioned that a customer can come and sign up on their own, upload the invoices on their own, and do everything on their own. So essentially, we are calling it. We are saying it's a self-serve platform. Everything is automated, and I'm assuming it's all integrated with because MSMEs operate in the mediums like WhatsApp. They don't expect emails. They don't use emails that much compared to other convenient mediums like WhatsApp. So I'm assuming it's all integrated with each other, and
Yes, it's all.
every,
You can talk to us through WhatsApp. Absolutely.
having said that, I think in the banking space, when you want to work with a particular financial entity, trust is a large factor that
Yes.
comes into picture. Like people should trust you before they give you access to their invoices, to their bank account details, and doing transactions through you. That's a whole different game altogether. How did you, how did you make sure that you are a trusted entity? People, how did you buy the trust of your customer? Can you explain that? I think that is a big challenge when when you are starting out.
Absolutely. You bang on, Priyanjan, that's the first thing is that customer wants to be sure that you are dealing with an entity which is credible and which is regulated. And yes, we operate under, we do tell this to the customers. It's there on our website as well that we operate under OPGSP framework of RBI. And we are an approved entity, and we do have our partner, which is Yes Bank is our partner, through whom our OPGSP approval has come in. We do tell them this thing. And also from the founder's perspective, all three of us come with 25 plus years of experience in the financial sector itself. So so you can see that we understand the domain, we have the right licenses in place, and we are happy to tell you more about how this functions, how the entire process functions. And the entire process, when I say how the entire process functions, your money is in the banking system at any point in time, whether it is in my overseas partner, then also you are under a licensed entity. And when it is in India, it is still in the banking infra, which is you are in the regulated world itself. At no point in time we are touching your money. We are making sure that it is moving through the technology layers, and we are making sure that you are getting your we are making the entire process transparent for you. But it is coming in the money remains in the banking domain, and we
Mhm.
work as per the compliance of RBI. And the platform further is completely secure as per the RBI guidelines. We make sure that from the security perspective, each and every issue is being taken care of. As I said, if you're regulated, you have to make sure that security is of paramount importance to us. And my co-founder Mahesh comes from the banking domain itself, and
Mhm.
and he's the one who leads the product. So he completely we from and he also handles the compliance. So we completely understand how important this is for us and also for our customers. So we make sure that we take care of these things.
Curious to know how do we make money as a venture, like a platform like this. I have already interviewed companies like Scienzy and all, and there can be multiple ways you charge your customer, and in your case it can be based on it can be a simple SaaS subscription, or it can be based on the amount transferred, based on the number of invoices. So how do we charge our customers? Can you give us some details around it?
Yeah, so we charge per transaction basis completely, which is on per transaction that you bring through us. We just give you a percentage on that, that this is what the percentage you will end up paying us. It's a fairly transparent way of bringing. There is no onboarding charges, there is no registration charges. So whenever you use us, whatever payments come through us, that is the only amount that you pay us.
Got it.
And it is, yesterday only I was in a session where I was in a training program, and I was asking exporters, okay, how much do you pay today? How much is your average cost that you pay while bringing the funds in international transfer? So I got the numbers ranging from 1.2% to 7%.
Mm-hmm.
So I would be happy to put it out that on an average we charge just 0.65%.
Wow.
Yeah,
Uh,
on your
the next question I have is around, the building up of the venture. So every startup, especially in the fintech space, when you start building a platform, a technology platform, there is always a cost associated. In the initial days, you are just building, and there is no revenue unless until the time when your platform is ready for at least one customer, and then the payments come. Even funding also comes after that. So can you tell us about the initial days, like how did you fund your operations? When did you receive the initial funding, and any pivots that you have done to make sure that the product that you are building fits the market need, which we call as product market fitment?
Yeah. So we have not pivoted from the product perspective. The thought process still remains the same with us because we wanted to cater to this segment itself. And we've not pivoted on that. But yeah, initial days are difficult, Piranjan, that how much is required for everything. You are kind of doing your back calculations on how much is it going to cost you. We did put some funds out that, okay, this is what we utilize to build our product initially. And while we started to do the checks with MSMEs, that as the platform gets ready, how much are they willing to pay, how much are they cost, how much are they paying today, what is their process. So we were kind of getting ready for the customer. But yeah, initially it was, we had between us co-founders, we had kept some money aside. We were lucky we were extremely lucky that we were able to raise our seed round of funding early stage itself while the product was at build stage. And we raised funds last year in July itself. Axelor is our lead investor, and Capital A is the second investor with us. We raised $1.25 million, which eased out the entire process of now building it out and building it very very quickly. So
Mm-hmm.
that helped us out, put the right team together, and we are about 20-member team today in Bangalore. So yeah, so I would say that raising funds at early stage helped us a lot. And yeah, otherwise we were looking at bootstrapping for to build and reach the product market fit stage.
Uh, the other aspect of initial days, I was thinking, how does one acquire customers in the MSME space? Because one is you are acquiring small customers. The ticket size would be smaller compared to the typical software and platform businesses, and the typical demand generation models also do not work, because these people they do not attend trade shows, they are not reachable through email. So how does it work? How do you acquire customers in the MSME space?
Yeah, that's good that you're very right. It's not that they are available on LinkedIn and I will push a ad and say, okay, come
Exactly.
and work through me. So no, it doesn't work like that. So we work a lot with export promotion councils. We work a lot with the industry associations. We work through partnerships. So those are the ways that we acquire our customers. And yeah, that's not a simple way of just going and placing ads in Facebook and yeah, Facebook. Yeah, you can put those ads out, but they're more for your own brand building than actually
Exactly.
acquisition of customers. Yeah, in our
uh
case, then referrals work well.
mhm.
Yeah,
Understood.
yeah.
Any big challenges that you have faced so far while building and growing this venture?
Well, every day is a challenge, Ranjan. In a startup world, every day is a challenge. Hiring is a challenge, is a big challenge. Getting the right people, making sure that your team is aligned with your vision. First, hiring the right guys and then aligning them to your vision is a challenge. And aligning then the customer to your vision is a challenge. And yeah, every day is a new journey and it's fun. That's what I guess as uh, and I'm sure you kind of like this is what you're entering into when you start up your journey, and because I have been through this before as well, so it is yeah. So these are all the challenges, and being in fintech world, for us, compliance is making sure that we are compliant at any point in time is also a challenge. But yeah, so that's where
Got
we
it.
are. So yeah,
Got it.
everything is
How would you
uh,
define the term entrepreneurship? Like, what is the meaning of entrepreneurship for you? And having spent so much time in a corporate career, how would you differentiate between a job and life of entrepreneur?
Mm, interesting. How do I differentiate? So, while I've been in startups, so it was quite a bit of entrepreneurial state itself. As I said, in the initial company, I was kind of early employee itself. But I would say that this gives me a lot more freedom of thought.
Mhm.
That's what I would put it out as entrepreneurial journey versus a corporate world. While you take ownership in both the ways itself, whether you are in
Mhm.
corporate or in your this thing. So here you can experiment probably a lot more, and you can think a bit more. You can get your vision. You can build your north stars a little bit the way you think,
Mhm.
and um, but. But I would say that I've been pretty much just like that in whether it was probe or it was sciencey or here. Yeah, it's just that what do you want to build, what do you want to solve for, I would say now you have that, okay, this is what you want to solve for
Hmm.
and you want to build in this space. So it gives you freedom of thought in that angle, that you can say, okay, this is the problem that you want to solve.
Got it. My final question, since you are aware the MSME day is on 27th June, I would like to ask you one question around MSME, because you have studied them so much, you have had so much of data on MSMEs. What have you learned about Indian MSMEs? What is so unique and different about it? And what role do MSMEs play in a country or in a economy?
Oh, phenomenal. They play a phenomenal role in a country where there are 6.3 crore entities in India today, and 99% of them are MSMEs itself. It is, and 48% of the exports actually is done by the MSMEs itself. The contribution of MSMEs is 48% to the exports, what merchandise exports, and even in services. I would say, more than 50% of the entities that are in service exports are all MSMEs today. So
Mhm.
there is a they contribute a lot. They um, they demand a lot of respect. I can assure you of that. We ourselves are an MSME. We might be startup, but we are an MSME, and yeah, it's. But I will just say that uh, as in India and otherwise also, we just need to start thinking a bit bigger now. So, only then we will be able to build large scale entities in India. Government is supporting a lot. There are a number of schemes that have come up. There are a
Hmm.
lot of with India Stack coming in, with government schemes coming in, with so much of support being provided, with a lot of systems now getting built, even with the banks that MSME divisions being carved out, and players like us coming in, a lot of digitalization happening. So there is a kind of time has come for this segment to take advantage of players like us, and all this the support that government is providing, to now start thinking scale. We
Right.
are we have come a long way. India has come a long way from where we were, and we are ready to take the next leap, that by 2047 Viksit Bharat will come from MSMEs itself, and they
That's
are
what.
the ones who are going to be the pillars. They are the ones who are the pillars. They just need to think scale, and bring in as much digitalization as they can.
That's so true. I think any country which is expecting fast growth at a very large scale as India, I think MSMEs have to play a big role. In fact, if you look at the China story, they also had a MSMEs played the major part. It's not the big corporate, but rather the smaller companies and even unregistered businesses. They contribute a lot in the growth of the economy. Well, on this note, I think we have come to the end of the session. Thanks for joining us, Sheetal. It was a pleasure to have you on our platform, and our best wishes for LeRemitt.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Yeah. Bye bye.